Welcome. My name is Erin Wu, and I'm an MBSR teacher trainer here at Brown, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this info session about MBSR teacher training. So we'll begin with a short sitting meditation, and then I'll give an overview of the training pathway that'll take maybe 20 minutes or so, and then I'll reserve the rest of the time for any questions that you might have. So that's kind of how the flow will go. So let's begin with a brief sit. So inviting you to adjust your posture to support both wakefulness and ease. If you like, you can close your eyes, you can cast your gaze downward, whatever feels more supportive. And turning your attention inward. Noticing what it's like in your body right now. Sensations that tell you you're here. Noticing too what it's like in your mind. Is it quite active? Or maybe quieting? And what emotions are present? This practice of noticing what's here right now. And as you notice what's here, noticing if there's a wanting things to be different. Thinking things should be different. My mind should be quiet. My body shouldn't feel this way. And if so, acknowledging that with kindness. And this possibility then of acknowledging how things are right now. Fairly radical act of self-kindness. And then inviting you to turn your attention to what we'll call an anchor or a focus of attention. It could be your breathing. It may be someplace in your body. It could even be sound. Sounds in the background of your room. Maybe you hear birds in my background. Choosing just one and resting your attention here. As your mind wanders off, noticing where it goes, and gently bringing attention back. There's no place to get to, nothing to achieve. And in a moment, you'll hear the sound of a bell ringing, indicating the end of this practice. Okay. Thank you for practicing. I appreciate the opportunity. So, welcome. Once again, some of you logged on after we started. My name is Erin Wu. I'm a teacher trainer here at Brown, and I'm delighted to welcome you. As I mentioned before, I'll spend about 20 minutes or so giving you an overview of the training pathway and then reserve the rest of the time for questions that you might have. If you're in a place where it allows, I would love to see your faces. If you want to turn your video on, appreciate those of you who have it on, and no worries if that's not possible for you. Thank you. Nice to see your faces and welcome. All right. Out of curiosity, how many of you have taken an MBSR class before? Would love to see a show of hands. Okay, a decent number of you. And are any of you already in the teacher training pathway? Have any of you already taken a class? Okay. Okay. Kathleen, where are you in the pathway?
I did MBSR twice, and then I did a graduate degree at Lesley University in
Ah,
mindfulness,
okay.
which had a training component, but I
Mhm.
need a lot of practice. I need practice.
Okay,
A
welcome.
lot, a lot.
Yeah, welcome. All right. So I'll start with just a brief overview of MBSR itself for those for those of you who haven't taken it yet. MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, is an 8-week course which is designed as an introduction to mindfulness, although people take it after many years of mindfulness practice, so anywhere in between. Uh, it was designed by John Kabat-Zinn based on ancient practices from Asia. He was a Buddhist and yoga practitioner, and he drew from those practices in the creation of the course. Although it's entirely secular, uh, any of the religious components were left behind in desire to create a class that would be acceptable, accessible to anyone, no matter what your religious or non-religious background is. So it's an 8-week, kind of a deep dive into mindfulness. The class meets for 2.5 hours for 8 weeks. There's a daily home practice and all-day session. So that is a prerequisite for the training pathway, which was why I asked if any of you had taken it. I'm just trying to get a read on that. So for the training pathway itself, I'm going to show you a graphic and kind of walk you through the pathway using this visual graphic. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully you can see this image. Yeah, great. Okay. So this is our level 1 pathway, and I'll show you the full pathway after this, but I think it's really helpful to start with this. So over here on the left, you see prerequisites. As I mentioned, the 8-week MBSR class is one of the prerequisites. You also need either one 5 to 7 day silent meditation retreat or two 3-day silent meditation retreats. And I'll show you where you can get information about that. And then you need an established daily meditation practice of 2 years. And depending on what your practice is like, sometimes we can make an exception for 1 year, but at least 1 year of daily practice. And the reason for all of these, they're all, you can see, meditation based, is that having a strong personal practice is essential for teaching MBSR. There are some things that you can go read a book or take a class and then you can go teach them. Mindfulness isn't like this. Teaching arises from what you know of your own practice. We just heard from Kathleen. She has a master's in mindfulness and she needs more practice. Yeah, this is very true. So we really want a strong foundation in personal practice before beginning the teacher training. Once you have that, the first class is called MBSR Foundations and Facilitator Training. This is a 10-week class that is paired with an MBSR class. So you've already taken MBSR once, you're taking it again with your cohort of the foundations, other foundations students. So you'll be in a class of a much larger class with the general public, plus your foundations seminar. And you take the MBSR class one day for two reasons. One, to continue deepening your practice. And the second, to be watching what's going on in the class, to pay attention to what the teacher is up to, how the group is forming, the themes that are emerging, the kinds of questions that are asked, all of these things you're paying attention to when you take it that second time. And then when you meet a day or two later for the foundation seminar, that MBSR class is one of the ways in which you're exploring the foundations of MBSR and the role of the teacher. There are all sorts of activities and different things you do. There's small group discussions, large group discussions. Um, you meditate in the class, lots of different ways of approaching it. Uh, it's an intense class to take in terms of time because you're in the MBSR class with the daily practice of MBSR. Then you have this 3.5 hour class for 10 weeks, and there's a decent amount of homework with a class, a lot of reading, written reflections, some group work that you do outside of class. So it's a decent amount of work. In that class also, we train you to guide short meditations and to offer brief introductions to mindfulness. So when you complete this class, you have a facilitator credential, a mindfulness facilitator credential, which means that you can guide short mindfulness practices and short introductory workshops. The next step on the level 1 is involves prerequisites. So there is some independent study that is identified in the foundations course. You need to do a second silent meditation retreat or 2 3-day retreats. And then you need to teach a minimum of 3 introductory programs. And we also set you up to offer those intro programs in the foundations course. We provide you lots of information, resources, and you have an opportunity to practice. Once you meet those prerequisites and a minimum of 3 months, you can take the second course, which is the Teacher Advancement Intensive, the TAI. This is a 5-week course that occurs over 3 weekends, typically a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So when I say 5 weeks, it's one weekend, a weekend off, the third weekend, fourth weekend off, and fifth weekend concludes it. So those are full day sessions for those 9 days. And in the TAI, there are always 2 teachers that teach that, and your teachers will demonstrate all of the practices, all of the teaching elements. And a lot of the time then is spent with your peers, practice teaching to each other, self-reflecting, giving each other feedback, and your teachers are also giving you feedback. So when you complete the TAI, you are a qualified level 1 MBSR teacher, which means that you can teach the MBSR course in whatever setting you want. We don't provide opportunities to teach. It's up to everyone to find their own way of teaching. Some people do it within their profession. Other people look to their community or organizations they're involved in, their, say their church, for example, or their library, or all sorts of different ways people do that. So this is the level 1 pathway. You can take the first course. If you wait 3 months, you can take the second course. So you can do the level 1 within 1 year if you're inclined. There isn't a cohort of people. You don't join a cohort and move sequentially through. It's all self-paced. You sign up for a class when you want. We offer the foundations course 4 times a year, every summer, fall, winter, and spring. And we offer the TAI twice a year, every spring and fall. So that is level 1. I'm going to show you the next tab, which is the full training pathway. And you'll see it's a lot more. And I encourage people really just to think about level 1, get through that, and then evaluate. But I'll show you the full pathway here. So you can see this is what I showed you, the level 1. There are 2 additional sequential classes before you complete the level 2. And then there are 2 other classes here that you can take anytime after you complete foundations, 2 additional retreats. When you complete that, you can apply for teacher certification review. And then if you are approved, you will be a certified teacher. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and say just a little bit about the difference between the 2. People ask, well, why would I do the whole thing if I could just take those 2 classes and be a level 1 teacher? It's really entirely up to you. And it's why I really encourage people not to think about the full pathway, because that takes time, financial investment, and there's really no need to decide up front. So when you complete level 1, you are a full MBSR teacher. Some people want to become certified because they like, the end. They want that credential of being a fully certified teacher. Some, not many, but some places where you might want to teach require a certified teacher. That doesn't happen too often. We are in the process. We have a 3-year grant where we are exploring the possibility of getting insurance providers to cover MBSR, which would be a huge gain for the field. If that were the case, it's likely insurers would require a certified teacher. And then beyond that, I really encourage people get to level 1 if you're inclined to do that, and then go teach. Go teach some MBSR classes and see how it goes. Some people feel like that's enough and they go on and teach. Some people teach for a while and then think, you know what? I feel a little shaky in these few areas. I think I'm going to take the next class to kind of deepen my understanding, because now I know a lot more and I want to go back and kind of supplement my learning. So that's a great way of kind of working your way through, and you don't have to do it in any time frame. So lots of different ways of looking at that. Uh, so I'll pause there then and check in and invite questions. So you can type in the chat. It's also great to hear your voices. You can raise your hand, and it's helpful to use the electronic hand, which looks like this. There's a react button at the bottom. It's a heart. And if you click on that, you can raise your hand and then lower your hand. Is it Leanne?
Lean, yes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the introduction. I wanted to ask, I saw that there is the first course is this summer. I wanted to ask, the inscriptions, are they often fastly full, or is there enough place left, or how fast do we need to be?
Mm. So are you talking about for the foundations, the first class on the
Yes, from the first foundations, yes.
Yeah. One of our sections is already full. One, we are still enrolling, and because one is already full, we're considering opening a 3rd section. But right now there is one. It happens to be my class, and there's still plenty of room in that one.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Leanne. Hi, Jennifer. Let's see where Jennifer went.
I unmuted now, sorry.
Ah, there you are.
Um,
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, can you tell me the dates for that class that has availability and also the cost for it?
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And I'll walk you through this.
Also, do I need to find another MBSR that would be taken at the same time? Like, how does that work? Was that automatic?
That's automatic. You're automatically signing up for both the foundations and an MBSR, as long as you've already taken MBSR previously. Yeah. So this is our homepage of our teaching certificate, and you can read through any of this information. If you want to find out when classes are open, you can click, or what classes are available. You click on the register, and then here are a list of all of the classes. So the first one is the MBSR Foundations and Facilitator Training. So you can click on that. And then this gives us a course description, some notes, the prerequisites. And then here are currently the 2 classes we have posted. So as I said, one of these, it's an evening class, has a wait list. And then this one is open right now for registration. So this is a Tuesday, Wednesday course. The MBSR class is at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, 9 to 11:30, and then the foundations class is Wednesdays, 9 to 12:30. And it lasts essentially June 24th through August 27th, and then there's an all-day session down here. The cost is $2,879. And so if you want to register for that, you would register here.
What if you can't make the Saturday class?
If you can't make the Saturday, there's always an option to attend. We always have a Saturday and a Sunday all-day session. So you could attend the Sunday instead. You wouldn't be with your class, but it's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to go to one of the chat questions and then I'll come back to Shannon. Is it possible to take the courses remotely or is it in person? I live in Philadelphia. Thanks, Noelle. All of our classes are remote. They're all taught on Zoom. And I didn't mention this, but one of the really great things about our classes is that we draw people from all over the world. So it's an international group, which I really appreciate. Shannon.
Good morning. Appreciate the overview. A couple of questions. For the personal practice, what evidence are you all looking for that you've demonstrated the 2 years of personal practice? Is it the honor system, or how do you kind of demonstrate that you've been doing this for a couple of years?
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that question. So when you apply for foundations, you'll fill out an application which asks you about your personal practice. We'll also ask you about your MBSR class and your retreat. So for all of these, we're not looking for any kind of documentation. Just we trust that you're telling us the truth. So you would just write the dates of the MBSR class, teacher. For the retreat, same thing. And then you would describe your daily practice.
Great. And then second question, when you become able to teach the various programs through the pathway, do you all provide the curriculum and tools in order to facilitate the program? So when you indicated that you're qualified to teach the 8-week MBSR program, is it using the same program and materials that we would be learning in the program?
Yes, we provide you with the MBSR curriculum in the foundations course, and you have that to use when you teach MBSR. And then when you have the facilitator credential before you have the MBSR credential, of course, then you're not teaching MBSR yet, but you can use the curriculum and draw elements from it to create shorter programs.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, Shannon. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat. Yan Lee, does qualified to the level 1 teacher equal a certified MBSR teacher? No. Qualified level 1 is a teacher status. You are a teacher, but the certified MBSR is that full pathway that I showed you with all the additional coursework. Funny.
Hi, thank you. So in terms of the retreats, are you able to utilize retreats you've already taken to meet that qualification, or does it have to happen in a certain time frame?
No, I mean, if it were 20 years ago, it'd probably be a good idea to take another one. But, you know, if it's reasonably recent, yes, you can use past retreats.
Great.
Thanks, Bonnie. All right, let's see, Sherry. I am taking the first 8 weeks MBSR course in June. My school I teach at wants to know if it's accredited in order for them to reimburse me for the cost edited. It's not an accredited class. We provide information if you want to get CEUs, if you want to apply for CEUs, but there's no specific accreditation for the MBSR class. We can provide documentation saying that you took the class and it's this many hours. Yeah, we can do that. And Katie, is there a time frame in which all of these requirements need to be completed? I know you said it can be done within a year or longer, but curious if there's a time you need to complete it by. No, you can really stretch it out and take your time. And Ingrid.
Hi, thank you for all this information, and it's really helpful to know what the time commitment is going to be.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that this is designed for working professionals, though. Is that right? So it is possible to have a full-time job while you're doing this, or is that really difficult for people to do?
It is possible. I would say the majority of people who are doing our training are working full-time, which isn't to say it isn't a big lift. Most people beyond their full-time jobs have pretty full lives. But yes, it is possible.
Thank
Yeah, you're welcome. Will the course qualify for CE for psychologists? So we provide the course hours, course description, and a letter that you can then take to your certifying board for CEs. And we have people who have done that. So that's how you would do that. Yeah, any other questions? Let's see, Carrie, when do the classes open up for registration in the fall? They should be up very soon. Yeah, they're not quite there, but they will be up soon. If you do open up a third class for the summer session, will it be for the evening? That's what we're looking at, an evening class, yes. All right. I'll give you a chance to think about any other questions you might have. And while you're doing that, I'll show you a few other things on our website. Henry.
Hey, thank you. I'm just trying to keep a bunch of new things straight. The 3-day a week, 2-day a week, Tuesday, Wednesday thing. Doing the 8-week MBSR program prerequisite and course 1 at the same time?
No.
Or was that the foundations course 1?
So you need to take the MBSR course first, independent of anything else for yourself. Once you have that prerequisite, you sign up for foundations, and the MBSR class is paired with that foundation. So it's not something separate you sign up for. It's included in your enrollment in foundations. So in that foundations course that I showed you, there's the MBSR class on Tuesday that I teach, and the foundations on Wednesday that I teach.
And I will have already taken the MBSR class.
Yes. Anyone?
Okay, so it's both a prerequisite and part of the foundations 1.
Correct.
ACEs, that's what I was
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. And in fact, there will likely be people in that summer MBSR class who are taking it as the prerequisite so they can take foundations in the fall. Yeah. Francesca.
Hi, good morning. I am a high school principal, and I've been thinking about offering MBSR within the high school to teachers, but also I was thinking that 17 or 18-year-olds might be able to take it eventually. Is there like an age minimum requirement? Some high school seniors in particularly are ready and need MBSR. And so I'm just trying to imagine before I embark on this journey, like who the people I would be teaching would be, and if they could be students.
Yeah. So it's designed for people 18 and older. So many students would be 18. I would suggest doing something different than MBSR with high school seniors. It's a lot for students that age. So one thing you could do is take the MBSR curriculum and condense it. Like take the 2.5 hours down to an hour and a half, for example, and make the practices shorter. Some of the practices that we do in class are 40 minutes long, which is a lot to ask, I think, of high school, even seniors. But you can certainly take elements from it and modify it and make it accessible to seniors. The other thing I'll say is I'm a former educator myself, and teachers need it, so would really encourage you to offer it to your teachers. The other thing, though, is that many teachers find it to be a lot in the school year because it's, it's so intense. So to add something like this on top of it can be a lot. So summers can be a good time to offer it, and even a shorter course if you were going to adapt, like to an hour and a half or an hour, that might be more workable for teachers during the school year. Let's see. If we take the prerequisite course elsewhere, can we apply to part 2? I'm assuming if you want to do the teacher training here, but you took the MBSR course somewhere else, yeah. Yeah, you can take the MBSR course anywhere you like. You don't have to take it with us. Yeah. Do I have recommendations for silent retreat locations and programs? Yeah, I'll show you our silent retreat page, which has information on that. Let me share my screen. So once again, here is our main page, and I'll just walk you through this a little bit. We have a speaker series every month since January. We've been hosting researchers in the field, and this is our next one. So you're invited to attend on Thursday, May 29. And they've been excellent. If you click on this, you can also see recordings of past speakers. John Kabat-Zinn was our first one. Richie Davidson was our second. He's a lead researcher in the field. I'm going to skip over this for a minute. Registration and cost. So here are all of the courses, and here are the fees for each of the courses. Down here, if you need tuition assistance, there's a form you can complete. Here's information on continuing education units and how you do that. And then FAQ, so some information there. Our faculty are listed here. You can find out more about us. And then I'm going to go back up to the curriculum tab. So this is more information. This is a similar graphic to what I showed you, just different colors. Here are each of the levels and the courses and what's required. Course descriptions are all down here. And I'm going to go back up here to prerequisites. So it talks about the meditation practice of 2 years. I didn't mention this. You need a graduate degree or equivalency. And most people are able to demonstrate equivalency. So it's usually not a problem. And then down here is where you would find the link to the meditation retreat page. So here's information about qualified retreats. So it talks about MBSR, MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy is another course we offer. And then retreat locations. These links right here take you to retreat offerings by our Brown faculty. So if you click on this link, for example, these are Bob Stahl's retreats, and he offers a lot every year. He offers more than anyone. But you can see there are still quite a bit left, and he offers some in Europe, sometimes some in Asia. I don't think he's offering any in Asia, some online and some in person. So lots of possibilities there. If you take any of these retreats, you'll know that they meet our prerequisites. The only exception to that is heart-based mindfulness. She offers some travel retreats, which are not silent meditation retreats. So those would be easy to tell. But otherwise, any of these would meet our retreat requirements. Here's a list of other retreat centers. Most of these are in the United States. And they offer retreats that sometimes meet our prerequisites. Some of them almost always do. Some of them are all over the place in terms of what they offer. You can take a retreat here. You can take a retreat anywhere in the world. You can find a retreat center anywhere in the world. And down here is what we're looking for. So each retreat day includes a minimum of 12 hours of retreat time, 8 hours of formal practice within that 12 hours and so forth. And then here's information on the 3-day retreat. So I'll go ahead and put this in the chat, but that's where you find information about the retreat. I'm going to put actually a number of links into the chat for you so that you have them. So I'll put this group. This group. And then one thing I didn't include, which I should, is, did I? MBSR, oh yeah, MBSR course registration. So in that second group, the first link takes you to where you would register for an MBSR course if you haven't done that yet. All right, any other questions? Let's see, Yuki Chen. I attended a few retreats in the last 3 years. Do past retreats qualify for the prerequisite, or does it have to take place during the training period? If you've taken retreats and they meet what we're looking for, within the past 3 years, those would all qualify for what we're looking for. You're welcome. Anything else? Okay, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. And if you have any additional questions, you are welcome to email me. I'm happy to talk by email. If you want to get on a Zoom, we can get on a Zoom and answer questions about your particular situation, but really happy to answer anything and help in any way. Yes, Yan Li.
Hi, Erin. Thank you. So I had also in the past had, few different silent retreat but I don't think that I got any kind of documentation. So I don't know what kind of systems that you're going to track in terms of proof that people have attended retreat
Yeah.
prior to this.
Yeah. So when you complete the application for the foundations course, you'll be asked about the MBSR class you took, about your retreat, about your personal practice. And we're just looking for basic information. So for the retreat, where it was, who the teacher was, what the name of it was, the dates, that kind of thing. And we take your word. We don't need any kind of certificate or anything like that. We trust that you did what you say you did. So as long as that retreat meets what it says on our website, then you're fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alan.
Hi, Erin. Thank you. So just to clarify, would a bachelor's degree or anything below a graduate degree not qualify you to be able to take the foundations course?
So if you do not have a master's degree, you would need to demonstrate equivalency. And so what we're looking for in equivalency is critical thinking skills, writing skills, communication, these kinds of things. So work experience, volunteer experience, being say a mother managing a household, all sorts of ways of demonstrating that these kinds of skills. I will put a link to graduate degree equivalency, what we're looking for. So you would, in addition to the application, you would write a narrative about ways in which your experience demonstrates these skills. And typically it's not a problem at all. If you've been working or, you know, an active, engaged adult, it's not too difficult to demonstrate. And if you have questions about it, you can certainly reach out to me. Is that helpful, Alan? Great.
Certainly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else? Okay, then. Really appreciate your interest in our program. And as I said, happy to answer further questions. So please do reach out. And it would be lovely to see you in a class at some point in the future. Yeah, so thank you all for coming and take good care. You can unmute yourself and say goodbye to everyone if you wish.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.